This is Kenyon Williams again with the third video in my little video series on how to use absolute basics for absolute beginners like me with the Pearl malletSTATION running to an iPad. Again, I designed this not to be great. I designed this simply to be fast, easy, and highly portable. So for people on a budget like myself and my university, I wanted to find out how I could make it easy for students to use and how for myself to use. So I did a lot of experimenting. Not an expert, and in the comments below, feel free to add in things I'm missing. Some of the information I'm going to give you probably is honestly, some people are going to say, downright wrong or simply redundant. If that's the case, feel free to go ahead and write in comments and correct me, or better yet, post another video that I can then watch and learn from. But I couldn't find a video like this on the web to help me get started, so hopefully this one will help you guys out there who may be purchasing these instruments for the first time and are scratching your head going, how do I make this work the way I want it to work? Now, the most important thing I wanted my keyboard to be able to do, I want to be able to take it to a gig and be able to use these buttons over here to immediately switch between, say for example, marimba to xylophone to Glock to chimes. I didn't want to have to be able to fiddle up here with a screen. I wanted to be able to do it real quickly because I'm staring at music and don't want to have my eyes going in different directions. So here's how we do that. First off, I got my USB cord that came with the malletSTATION. Instead of plugging it into my iPad, which it was earlier, now I have it plugged in for right now for this video. I'm going to plug it directly into my laptop. And I'm doing this now. Hopefully I won't have to do this at the gig. I wanted something I can use instead directly. I do this at home. Now, so I got it plugged in. The malletSTATION, by the way, is powered off of your iPad or off of your keyboard, whatever it's plugged into there. One of the beauties of it, I don't need to have an extra cord plugged in. It powers directly off whatever my computing source is. So you can see now I got some power running here because it's connected to my laptop. Now I'll go over here to my laptop. Now let me show you how to program these buttons, because this is the thing that just drove me nuts, how to get it started. So I can't begin to explain all these things about destination buttons and faders, but after talking with Matt Jordan at Pearl, who did some great explanation for me, a lot of it which went over my head to be honest, that information though, I'm going to show you how to do it. Don't ask me why, but I do know that it works. First things first, go up here and select simply factory dampening F to F, okay? I got that. If I select that, I'm going to end up with this right here set. Then I go to destination 1. Go over here to the side, hit this, make sure that button's turned on as well. So destination 1, button 1. Now from here, I'm going to turn the pre-select mode, make sure that's clicked on. I have this clicked over to channel 10. I believe I've also, just to be safe, you can click on that and then use the down arrow to take that down to where it goes down to 0 to be safe. Now, honestly, I don't think that's really something that matters, but I heard someone online mention that it was not a bad idea to have that turned off just to make things easier. So I'm going to do that for channel 1, button 1, again, destination 1, button 1, and notice I have right now, this is all plugged into channel 10. It's going to automatically, pre-select mode means it's going to basically read whatever MIDI I send, which is great. Now, here's the thing that was driving me nuts. I couldn't figure out how to get it to connect with MIDI channel 1, which is over here. If I just connected it, if I uploaded it now to my malletSTATION, it didn't seem to do it. Here's the trick. Go down to here. That's the MIDI channel it needs to be connected to. So now I have my zone A, which is, by the way, and this program editor, all these buttons up here, and I don't want a zone B, so I'm going to slide that off. Okay, zone A, clicked on, channel 1, got it. Channel 1, absolutely got it. Okay, so I've got that on channel 1. I've got this on channel 1 too. Now, why is this important? Because this is what allows me to program to my little faders. Now, these things right here are what going to eventually connect on my Sampletank with volume and with modulation, aka my vibe motor effect. Now, a lot of folks said that Sampletank has a feature, a very cool feature, called Smart MIDI. You're supposed to be able to press this right there and then hold on to this button, hold on to any one of these buttons, and then from that, program that by simply toggling this, and it was supposed to read it. Here's the problem. Doesn't work. Didn't seem to work. So I'm going to turn that MIDI feature off. I mean, it's not plugged in right now anyway, so it wouldn't work. Even if it was plugged in, I couldn't get it to work. So here's what I ended up having to do. I ended up instead looking online and discovering there's some basic parameters. Basically, I put, first off, use this right here, CC. Don't ask me what the heck CC stands for. I just did a little research online. Basically, it means channel change or something like that. But channel change 1 is typically, channel 1 is typically used for modulations, aka vibraphone. Channel 2, this channel 7 is typically used for volume. So it's going to automatically feed those parameters into Sampletank, works like a charm. So now I can simply change my volume with this one, or change my my modulation wheel or my vibraphone with this one. If I want it soft, down there, big like that. If I want it completely off, just scroll it all the way down, it goes off. So right now I put my volume in the middle, okay? No big deal. So I got channel 1, button 1, destination 1. And at this point, hit click, save to malletSTATION. Yay! So then I save it to the malletSTATION. For button 2, if I want to program button 2, by the way, I haven't given it a sound yet. Notice I haven't given it a marimba sound or anything. This can be anything. In a minute, I'll show you how to do that. So, destination 2. So this is going to program button 2 now. I'm going to hit destination 2. I'm going to hit button 2 over here. I'm going to go down here again. Oh, now it's, no, notice now it's still on channel 1. I don't want to keep it on channel 1. I'm going to hit channel 2. Then I'm going to click on this one, channel 2, because I want those being sent right there. Again, I'm going to make sure this is not on pitch bend, but rather on CC, and I want that one on 7. This one's going to be automatically set to 1 in my malletSTATION. It's all looking beautiful. Then I'm going to hit, again, save to malletSTATION. Do the exact same procedure for 3 and 4. Now, I want to show you one of my presets. What you can do is create these away from the keyboard. If I unplug this, and I'll create these user presets that then I can then upload to my malletSTATION, excuse me, when I get back. Check out my preset on, sorry, where's my preset, one of these, where is it? On station button 4, so I have this right here. Notice on button 4, what I did is I decided I want to do something in my upcoming gig. I have to be able to play vibes and then go immediately to chimes a couple times with literally 1 beat of rest. So I just don't have enough time to even go over and go from vibe to chime. So what I did is here, I put the vibraphone on the entire bank A. So there's A. Okay, I'm going to have vibraphone all on that one. And by the way, I have this on button number 4. So button 4, number 4. Notice it all MIDI channel 4, MIDI channel 4 again. Notice all that 1 and 7, all nice and happy working right there. Okay, so that's my button. So right now I have vibraphone going all throughout. Now my chimes on the part goes all the way down to low E flat. So I'm going to put that down underneath that right there, down to E flat. And now I'm going to do, that is my zone B. So zone B, though, I put that on channel 5. I got to put this on channel 5. Oh, hello. Put this on channel 5 as well. So 5, 5. Zone A, my vibraphone, 4. Whoop, put that down there. 4. And, oh, get that to work. 4. Come on. Oh, come on. I'll use the arrow down to get that working. Okay, so there's A is 4, 4. B is 5. And it's going to fight me a little bit. 5. But anyways, you can mess around and get that all to work there. So I have that all. So now I have basically one MIDI channel, or should be one button that is going to be programmed to run 2 sounds simultaneously. But you're going to say, but what if I want to play upper vibes and have my chimes not work at the same time? That's where Sampletank comes into play. So once again, once I've got that in place, I hit save to malletSTATION. Again, make sure you have the button 4 clicked, that 4 clicked, preset mode clicked. Okay, so I've uploaded everything in my malletSTATION. It's all looking good. Okay, now I unplug from my laptop, plug over here directly into my Sampletank, which is running on this. And now I'm going to go ahead and click on button 1. So button 1 right here is running, as you can see, MIDI channel 1, which I programmed earlier to be button 1, and I've selected Moody Marimba. And I'm going to turn the volume up. Look over here on the side. I've got this sample working now. Got a little bit of popping sound there when I do my volume, so I don't know what that's going on there, but someone else better can tell me. That's my sounds terrible for marimba, so I'm going to turn that off. Okay, but nevertheless, turn my volume up, and I can see this. Now, one more thing on Sampletank. Check out this neat little feature here. If I click on this, I can adjust volume and panning in real time. And if you keep the screen, actually, my son over here. Here I am adjusting the volume here. Now go back to the screen, and as I go up and down, you can see the volume moving as I move my finger up and down. All right, so that's going to work directly. Now, so there's my Moody Marimba. I'm going to go now back to that information. Let's say I get to, let's say I don't want channel 1 to be Moody Marimba. I want it to be instead wine glasses. Now I'm going to click on that. So now I've got those sounds. So I'm going to go back to Moody Marimba, though. But one quickly thing I discovered too is go ahead and take a look at the whole keyboard here. This is a very this is a good sized keyboard, but the sample that came in Sampletank started down here. This is my low F and low bass clef. On most gigs, of course, I'm playing mostly treble clef marimba. So what I did here is simply click on this. Now this is an important step, or you're going to screw yourself up. Hit the button right there. That allows me now to play with all of these on that specific button. So I hit that button, and notice I set the transposition for a full octave. So right now, when I installed it on Sampletank, everything is down too low. I wanted this key right here to be middle C, like I would be thinking of it on a marimba. So I've got my transposition set an octave lower. That just pushed everything down, and now I've got a nice sound. Now I mentioned on one of my other videos that one of the big problems with Sampletank is there is a lousy xylophone sound. So I'm going to hit over here button 2. Now I've got button 2. Now remember I had button 2 programmed to go to MIDI channel 2. Don't look at that because it's not connected right now. But it's programmed MIDI channel 2, as you can see too. So I've chosen from here knock marimba, put knock marimba on there, and then you notice in the transition I transpose that up an octave as well. It's going to give me a xylophone sound. And actually, again, because Sampletank is going to give me everything a bit of an octave too low, I'm going to transpose that up one more. So I'm going to go scroll down there to 16. Whoop, not 17, 16. There we go. Whoop. Ah, boy, this takes teeny tiny fingers. There we go. Now I've got more of a real xylophone sound. Turn my volume up. All right, so I've actually moved the keyboard down an octave, and I've adjusted for the fact that, of course, a xylophone transposes an octave higher than a marimba. So now I've got more of a woody xylophone sound. Now, check out my third sample here. I've got my glockenspiel. I'm going to click on. Now, I don't need to touch this. I'm simply going to hit this button right here, and again, this Sampletank had an octave too low. If you see over here on this key right here, when I click on this, you can see I've transposed this one up 2 full octaves because I actually have the Glock way out of the range. So I moved this one 2 octaves to get it where my middle C I'm used to thinking of in a Glock is right there. Okay. And by the way, as I go through this too, let's say I'm playing along and I want to mute it. Boom. There's no sound. Hit this. Now I've got my Glock back in place. Now, why does that matter? Because now we're going to talk about channel 4. Channel 4 is where I decided to put my vibraphone and chimes at the same time. So here I have this channel 4. As I mentioned earlier, here's vibes. Oh, hello. I've got my church bells there too. Let me turn those off. Haha. There we go. Church bells. Oh, sorry, vibes. Vibes. I go to the upper octave though. There's my chimes. Okay? So my chimes are actually in the upper half, but they're actually sounding at the same time as my vibes. So, if you listen closely, you can hear the point where I'm getting vibe and chime. If I want to have just chime, I can simply turn off the vibes there. But notice my vibes, because I programmed them to cut off over here earlier, cut off when I get below that E flat, or actually down to this E, I didn't quite get it right. Go back to my editor and fix that later if I want to. Okay? So I have that programmed to be exactly the way that I want it to be, with vibes on one half, and the lower half chimes on this. Now, let's say I'm playing along and I want to use a full range vibraphone and I don't want those chimes to work. I'm going to turn on the vibraphone, excuse me. I'm going to turn off the chimes, okay? And now, I've got my full range vibe. Now, one other issue that drove me nuts. I couldn't get the dumb pedal to work. Vibraphone was simply not sustaining. This is when Matt Jordan gave me a great pointer. He pointed out that Sampletank comes with vibraphone not set for a good vibraphone use. And that simply has to do with, as I select my vibe here, this issue right here, where is it? The release. The release is not calibrated properly. It comes set like this, which means even if I hold the pedal down, it's still going to ring. So what I need to do is simply pull the release down below 0.5, and now I have a real vibraphone ring time. All right? Now, one of the issues Sampletank has is simply the orchestra chimes. Orchestra chimes, and this is one of the dumb things about Sampletank, the sample doesn't have a release knob. In other words, the pedal doesn't work. No matter what I do on the orchestra chime, it is always going to be the long ringing chime. The pedal has nothing to do with release. And it's simply because the sampler doesn't have the ability for me to turn it off or on. If someone else has a way to fix that, let me know. But the orchestra chime sound here, it's a great chime sound, but there's just no way to control the sustain. That's where I begin to think, main stage on a laptop might be a better idea. So, hopefully I've showed you some things that are going to help you out there a little bit. One thing I forgot to show you. Come back over here to the screen. Make sure that you do have your pedals. If you want to be using pedals on vibraphone or anything else, make sure you have this clicked on sustain pedal, and make sure you have this clicked on internal sustain, which is basically the default, going to work with whatever pedal you're using easiest dummy-free version, which I was told to use and works great. And finally, too, when I go to my vibraphone, let me point this out. Go to Vibes over here. I'm going to click on button 4. So here, whoop, I muted it. There we go. Turn it back on. There's my vibraphone. Turn my volume, and here I have my mod wheel. Or move that down, and now I have my pure vibraphone sound. Okay. I hope you found this useful. This video took me a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and throwing things against a wall in terms of figuring out how it worked. Apologize for the low production value, but I really hope you found it of interest. Please leave your comments below and correct me as you see fit. And thanks to Pearl and other folks for all the work into creating such a great product. I'm looking forward to using it at my first gig this coming weekend. Take care.